Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I don't have quite as much time to work on the truck as I had to do my day job. It was Monday, so I think I can still get some progress made on the semi-truck. Let's get started. What I have to do here is cut all the bolts, cut or impact off all these bolts that hold this axle in. This is a lift axle, and I won't be needing it for my build anymore, I don't think. I'm still deciding. I need to get this off so I can see how good my frame rail is to see if I need to double frame this or not. So if it's all eaten up behind here, then I'll have to double frame it. So let's get started. Okay, the first step for taking off this axle is we're going to get the tires off. So got myself an impact, and let's zip these tires off hopefully. Well, that's one side off. A little harder than I thought, but these are notoriously easy to get seized up, so I'm very fortunate that they didn't. I've seen some of them where these rings that space out the tires are completely rusted through, but this looks pretty good yet. So, yeah. Got halfway done with pulling the rims off. Let's do the other side now. These tires are old, and they've started doing this. Their hands just get covered in black. It looks almost like soot, but it's not. I don't think I've ever had a tire do that before. So I'm going to try to remove these with an impact. The reason is I'd rather not waste the oxyacetylene from the cutoff torch if I don't have to. Let's see how easy these come out. Nope, not going to waste my time. So last night it got a little dark on me. I was still cutting off bolts well into past twilight, so I didn't get a chance to show you what I got done. So let me show you now. I got these bolts knocked off. These bolt heads knocked off. Got some of these driven out actually too. Got these cut off and got these cut off. And I was able to pound out all those. If you're better than me, you can cut these off, like the bolt heads off, and not gouge the metal. Like I was getting pretty good at the end there, but it just takes one second of misintention to gouge that. And if I wanted to use this bracket again, I'd have to weld this back up and grind it smooth. I was pretty careful in here. Some of this will probably need to be cut a little bit more before I can drive the bolts out. But I want to get the other side cut before I start driving too many bolts out. So I'm guessing this thing weighs about a ton. And I don't want that falling uncontrolled. So. today we're going to continue working on our semi-truck project. It is a bleary, bleak fall day here in South Dakota, but we're going to try to press on and make some progress. Where we've left off, we pulled the cab off, we pulled the flatbed off the back, and right now I'm working on getting the lift axle off because I need to see how the frame looks behind it, because there's quite a bit of rust jacking between the mounting bracket for the lift axle and the frame. And if the frame isn't in good condition, then I have to double frame this section, which is meaning put another C-channel of frame on it to strengthen it up. But I'm hoping I don't have to, because I've kind of shifted my overall plans for this project. So the cab, it's a Cabover, so the cab sits above the engine there. And then I'll have a roughly 8 to 10 foot flatbed, and then the fifth wheel plate. So that'll allow me to haul stuff. I'm not a production truck driver by any means, so my truck will be a little heavier. I'm gonna have an extra fuel tank on this side for off-road fuel, and the other side will have some toolboxes. So it's gonna be more of a Swiss Army knife of trucks. It's not gonna be great at anything, but it'll do a whole bunch for me. Yeah, we need to get this off. If I can get this off today, I also want to pull the driveline off and the transmission, because we're swapping it out with my donor truck's transmission. And then I'm going to start prepping this whole frame for paint, as long as this is good enough to work for without doing a double frame here. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here is take off the brake lines that run to the lift axle. So let's see if we can get these fittings to break free without too much fight. I've never seen a flexible hose so hard. It's like it's acting like a solid steel line. So that's off of that. I'll have to take the mounting bracket off of this. It's just these two up here. And then I have a couple keepers that are holding these brake lines in place. So I did the whole bus project without this tool pretty much. It is a electric ratchet. So it acts just like a normal ratchet. It doesn't impact at all to break fasteners free that way, but it's just very quick for undoing bolts and stuff like that. I wish I'd had it sooner. I would have used it a lot. So, very handy tool. I think I'm just going to hit these with the torch. They're so rusted up from sitting in this cross member where there's dirt and stuff that gathers. Okay, the last airline we have to pull off is this one here. This is the control that lowers the lift axle. Basically, you just need air supplied through here, and it will go through here and be split between the two airbags. So we need to get this off. Okay, that's free. Okay, now it's time to get the last remaining couple bolts that are holding this in cut off. I'd run out of oxygen earlier in the week, so let's get this cut off and yeah, let's get it on the ground. Okay, time to get something underneath here. If you didn't catch what happened, the whole lift axle dropped on this side. I still have 2 bolts in it, but apparently those aren't the important ones. So Get the telehandler with the extensions on here, and we'll pick up on this, just so it doesn't crush my foot or anything like that. Okay, I have the telehandler forks stuck underneath the axle with the extensions on it. Got to just grab on either side of the axle, and it kind of has a bow to it, so it should stay on the forks pretty good. I'm not too concerned. I have a lot of upward pressure now. I'm guessing this axle weighs 2,000 or 3,000 pounds, so maybe even more than that. So having some upward pressure will make it way easier for me to drive these bolts out. As you can see, it's already broken free here. We just have a few bolts right here to get out, and then a couple on the other side. So let's get going. Okay, I think this side is freed up, so let's go to the other side and get those bolts cut off. Okay, that took a little bit of persuasion, but the axle is free from the frame. Got all the bolts cut out. I have one bolt that's kind of hanging up, and it has it's stuck on the inside of the frame rail. We'll see if that's going to be a problem. I think it's clear of the actual axle mounts. So yeah, I'm going to start the lift up and we'll lower it down a little bit and see if we get everything freed up. I think there's some rust holding it all together right now too. So let's get that lift started and get this axle off. So I didn't catch something when I was pulling all the bolts off. They're a little sneaky when they put this together. This bolt for the shock doesn't stop in a blind hole here. It goes all the way through to the inside. So I have to take these shocks off. And then we'll be freed up. So close to clearing. We're hitting on the carrier bearing there. So close, but yet so far. So I think if I crab the whole lift over this way, I can clear as soon as I get out of the way of that carrier bearing. This on this side is super close to clearing also, but it has some give to it because it's just on the airbag. So if I need to, I could take this airbag off and drop the shock down even further. But I think I can clear it. So let's try that. We'll crab it over and see if we can get out from underneath. Okay, the axle is out. What do you think, Luna? Yeah, she loves helping me work. She stays pretty close by. It's pretty nice. Got the axle out now. I have one more rivet, both sides to take out. Then this whole plate can come off and we can see what we're dealing with there. So it's not nearly as bad as I was worried about. Here at the cross member, it's still to paint. And throughout here, it's pretty much to paint. Up here, it's pretty well eaten out a little bit. And then up here. But I think I'll be just fine because I will be putting a flatbed over most of this portion here. So it's not going to be a problem. Let's do the other side and see how that looks. So this side looks about the same, if not a little bit better. The worst spot is right here again. I have access to some frame rails. I don't know if they're quite as tall, but I could do a channel just like this here, bolted on the outside, and span at least up to where this one stopped before, just to strengthen this up here. Because it's double framed on the inside here to right there. So it's kind of weird how this frame is set up. I'm guessing, actually I think you can see it. I think they welded the frame together right here. So this is where the shorter wheelbase trucks frames would have gone to. And they added on this section here. So they spliced it, but I'm not sure on that. But I could always add back a double frame, even in just this section here would make a big difference. So I'll ponder on that. But yeah, let's get this all cleaned up and get ready to take some tires off. So we're gonna have to leave it here for this video. Next week we'll be pulling the 9-speed transmission so we can install the newer, nicer 13-speed. If you want to support the channel, click that like button down below and leave a comment. It really helps out the channel. If you want to support us in a more direct way, we have channel memberships available also. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.